I'm Kate Studley. I'm an artist currently living in Aachen, Germany. I moved there 5 years ago from Manchester after graduating from Loughborough University in 2017. I currently work there on my art practice, which looks at natural material and biodegradable art. I'm also a teacher for kids in ceramics. Maarten?
Yeah. My name is Maarten Bel and I live and work in Rotterdam, and I'm doing many different art projects, often with a lot of humor, about things I face in daily life, and I do a lot of collaboration, often with education, with kids or younger people, and I teach as well at art school in Rotterdam. We did this project in collaboration with KOP. It's an art project in the context of the New Canterbury Tales, where we did a series of workshops with young people aged between 12 and let's say 22.
22, and
22,
the
yeah.
project's called Reimagining Breda in 2070. So we are considering how Breda will look in 2070, what would change, and we're focusing on a compassionate society and sustainability and living alongside nature.
And we do that by role-playing,
Role-playing,
like
storytelling,
role-playing. And we came up with like different scenarios, and we asked the participants that were actually living in that district to help and think about and redesigning the future of their own city.
And these were then recreated on tables, which were divided into different districts, and they used recyclable and reusable materials to recreate buildings and institutions and transport systems, for example, from the future, in a more sustainable and compassionate way than it is today.
Ja.
Ja.
Ik zie hier een dingetje. Ik ga hem even bij jou neerzetten. Kan je vertellen wat je hebt gemaakt?
Het is een teleportatie.
Een teleportatieding. Waar kan je heen worden geteleporteerd?
Overal gewoon erin springen.
Oké, je moet er dan inspringen.
Ja.
Dus je gaat zo. En dan eentje. En dan kom je ergens anders daaruit.
Ja.
Oké, cool. En wat ben je nu aan het doen?
Huizen.
Huizen.
Maken.
Mooi. Huurhuizen, koophuizen?
Ik denk niet dat er genoeg ruimte is voor koophuizen.
Oh ja. Kunnen ook huizen opstapelen?
Yeah, and when we started, we didn't know each other, so we were just like, I think we were just looking at each other's practices, and then you found these things that we have in common, and which is like working with younger people and like in a collaborative way, and not only like doing a workshop for kids or teaching, but like really that they become like partners of your art project.
Yeah.
So I think that's where we started.
Yeah, and then we wanted to get them to think more about the future rather than us doing a project for them. We wanted them to really think about how they could change their own situation in the future and how they could contribute in a more like playful, poetic way. We also tried to find different groups of kids, so we had different social backgrounds and different learning abilities, and it was important for us to find not just the privileged side who have more access to these kinds of experiences, but also to the more socially troubled side, and to get a bit more of an overview of Breda rather than just from one section.
So in the end we just created these like a couple of islands that represent the different districts in Breda, and the idea was actually to bring like the physical district, like with any miniature version of it, to that district, and then work with them on the city of the future.
Yeah, and we tried to keep it from going to a dystopian direction, because I did a similar project before with other kids, and it always would go in a more negative direction, and I think one of the main aims of the New Canterbury Tales is also to see the future in a more positive way and more sustainable and compassionate way. So we also created characters so that the kids had a bit of a structure to the workshops, so they could pick a character and read a scenario and read the job that they would do. For example, like people who look after the waste, like we called them the trash talkers.
Oké, je bent de sympathetic psychologist. Oké.
Ja.
Punk scientist. Lijken ze erop? Beetje.
But we got a very different outlook from the different workshops, because the first one we did, there were 46 kids between 2 workshops, and they were crazy. Like, they just went for the materials. It was all very chaotic, but they were really excited about it. And the teacher was also really surprised, and she said they don't often get to do these kinds of workshops, so she was really happy with the energy that they were giving. And then we had some more focused workshops where we only had 2 or 3 people who chose to do the workshop, so they were very thoughtful about it. I think one kid came up with a way to help the anxiety of the residents with of pets. Future Breda with the pet hotel, so you could just go and cuddle. Pet and cuddle cat. It's like a big cat kingdom on the tables, which is really nice. And then we had the older kids from what's the corporation?
Yeah, it's called Grote Broer, Grote Zus. It's a association for younger people that have difficulty to get back on track in society. And they help younger people. So that was also an interesting perspective an interesting target group to work with, because they also it's a total different outcome in that scenario.
Ja, is dat hierbij? Maar ze zijn hem gelukkig al.
Can you tell me what you're making?
I'm making a reference to the movie Iron Man. There's a star reactor. It's from the Iron Man chest.
Yeah.
And it's like how do you say it? A green energy. Green energy for the whole world, and that's what I'm trying to make.
Nice. To kind of like, as an artist, you are always kind of very involved in yourself and your own work, and you are kind of in control of the work that you're doing. But as soon as you start doing stuff with other people or with participants, you kind of give over that control, and you have the idea of what it's going to be before you do the project, and then after the project it may not turn out the way you thought it was going to be, and you have to kind of just accept that. And then, but this is also quite nice, because then it gives you a new perspective of something you wouldn't have thought would have happened, and it always changes depending on the group you have. I don't think we had that problem.
And I think what I really like, that I will definitely reuse in other ways, is the characters that we developed. It's kind of like a role-playing game.
With a lot of the workshops, they didn't actually get to choose the card. We just gave them at random. So then they had to become that persona without picking it, and then thinking from a different perspective, thinking how can I, as this character, be more compassionate or work within a sharing community, which I think a lot of kids would never consider it before being a bin.
Like the role playing is already like the first step of being in a compassionate society, because you have to think about something else than yourself.
Dat doe ik al. Dit is voor een rioleringssysteem, toch?
Ja.
Hoe werkt het?
Zeg maar, hier gaat het water in. En dan komt het daaruit in
En dan komt het schoon eruit.
Ja, er zit een filter in, maar die zie je niet door.
Maar is die filter dan door een soort van mosfilter?
Ja, dat.
I remember from the first school, the teacher was saying how they don't get to do this kind of project so often, and they're usually doing very traditional ways of making, and maybe this project then made the kids think of how art can be different, or how art can contribute to society, and what it means to be presented in the museum. And
that was kind of like a cool thing for them, because they was not only like, oh, we do a workshop, we need you, but we were not entirely as equal partners, but we were really asking them but we specifically want to ask you, because you are the future and you are from this district, so we are super curious. And the result will be on display in the museum. So they were also kind of like, that's a nice extra layer, can I go to the museum then for free? Sure.
Ik ga even deze filmen, jongens, het is heel vet.
Ja?
Wat wordt het?
Een achtbaan.
Een achtbaan?
Ja.
En heeft hij een functie, de achtbaan, of is het vooral voor plezier?
Het is bedoeld om meer kinderen naar Breda te brengen.
Oh, en dus die achtbaan die komt van buiten de stad en dan naar binnen?
Ja, want het is een beetje...
But they like really took on the challenge of creating something by themselves. I feel like mine and Martin's input wasn't that strong through the workshop.
No.
We were there to maybe ask questions about what they were making, but they were all very focused on how can I make this piece for the table that relates to the character card, but also to compassionate society and sustainability. We didn't really need to interfere so much with the thought.
What do we take from the young participants to our own art practice?
I mean, for me, it's I wanted to go in this direction anyway, with working more on a community-based level and working with participants, so that the artwork becomes more of a reflection on society now. So it definitely helped with seeing things from a different perspective from other people, and how to make art more community engaging, because it's like the first time I'm doing this apart from my like teaching experience. So definitely would take this back with me.
Yeah, I don't know. Use.
I mean, you've done more projects than me on community stuff. Well, how was this different from your other ones?
I like it's not like, I think the topic is also kind of different. I would not really like immediately come up with something like it myself. So, but it's a very kind of like an overall theme that with an endless possibilities. That's what I like about it. And they were like the mayors or the architects of the future, and I really like that. And I think you can use that kind of like methodology into other topics, themes as well. Yeah.